So when we talk about transformation, so we have all of these different business categories within the traditional enterprise. And it's really about looking at how do we do business today? What are the tools at our disposal? And how can we think differently about the way that we approach transformation from a technology perspective in the enterprise by leveraging generative AI? One of the ways that we do this is really thinking about how do we create a safer future and guardrails around these tools. So we use generative AI to enhance different capabilities inside of the business, but we also need to think about what are some of the guardrails that we need to put in place as we leverage these technologies, and really as we transition from a current state of business methodologies to a future state of business methodologies. What does that mean in terms of also transforming the way that we approach compliance and risk at scale in the enterprise? So let's really think through how we can apply these concepts from an operational perspective, which is, in essence, that broader enterprise journey. So when we talk about enterprise AI, it truly is a transformative journey, and it really begins with awareness and education of your stakeholders. So it's about really honing in on helping everyone in the organization to understand what AI is, as well as the potential benefits and implications of leveraging this technology on a broader scale. And a key point of this is education. So within my journey at several different companies, I've really honed in on how can we upskill employees to understand not only the technology, but also give them an understanding of how it can be applied to their specific area of concentration within the business. And this really helps your stakeholders to start generating ideas about how they can actually leverage this technology in really unique ways. But one thing I do want to stress in terms of looking at from a leadership perspective, it really is about developing a clear AI strategy. And that strategy needs to be aligned with your organization's overarching goals. So this is really about how can we identify the areas of the business where we can add the most value by utilizing AI? And also, how do we set realistic, measurable goals for how we're not only going to implement this technology, but how we're going to measure success over time? And one of the things that I would suggest is making sure that you establish a clear roadmap and KPIs at the beginning of your AI journey. It will help you to really understand how you need to flow through the process of whether it's adding new employees to the team that have this level of skill set, whether it's looking at vendor selection, but it's all about making sure that at each and every milestone, you have a clear understanding of what you need to deliver, when you need to deliver it, and where you're going next. Now, one of the primary drivers for enterprise adoption of AI is really looking at how can we boost operational efficiency. So we talk a lot about AI and automation, and it really comes down to automating those routine manual tasks. And that allows us to really improve the quality of data that we have in our various systems. And it also helps us to accelerate business processes. And this leads to an overall increase in productivity at that higher organizational level. We can also look at AI as a way to help cut costs. Now, this is less about removing employees from the enterprise and more about facilitating those employees to do more with their time. So more value added, knowledge-based tasks versus those very highly manual, repetitive, tedious tasks that can be allocated to AI. And another piece of this puzzle is also looking at how can we use AI to be a little bit more predictive from an analytical perspective to help us in terms of how we're foreseeing downtime, how we're foreseeing maintenance costs, looking at ways that we can look at potential failures in the system and being able to actually remediate those potentially before they even happen. And this is the way that we look at this kind of holistic picture of really saying we're going to look at not only productivity enhancement, but also cost optimization and scalability and agility. And all of this rolled together really helps us to improve the overall operational efficiency of our business.